Venezuela has become the latest country to throw its weight behind Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for the 2027 to 2028 term. Now, the endorsement adds to growing international support since President Mnangagwa launched the campaign 2 weeks ago. We get more from the following report.
Zimbabwe's campaign is fast gaining ground on the world stage. Since President Emmerson Mnangagwa unveiled Harare's candidature a fortnight ago, the country has received pledges of support from powerful global players. Countries such as China, Russia, India and Japan, as well as regional blocs such as SADC and the African Union, have put up their weight behind Harare. Now Venezuela has added its voice of solidarity and support. Venezuela's support was conveyed by the country's foreign minister, Van Gil Pinto.
Zimbabwe and Venezuela are two brother countries that have a very good, firm relation, and we have always been supportive in the multilateral fora. And we are going to support your candidature for the non-permanent member post in the Security Council.
Leading Zimbabwe's diplomatic charm offensive in New York is Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Professor Amon Murwira. On the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, Professor Murwira has been engaging counterparts from across the globe, rallying support for Harare's bid and underscoring Zimbabwe's commitment to peace, sovereignty, and multilateral cooperation.
We have had very fruitful discussions with my brother, my colleague, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Venezuela, and we, as he has said, they are supporting us in our bid for the non-permanent seat for the United Nations Security Council, and we are together in the group of friends in defense of the Charter that Venezuela is leading very well.
At the center of Zimbabwe's campaign is President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who launched the bid for the coveted UN Security Council seat 2 weeks ago. The head of state has positioned the candidature as part of Zimbabwe's broader vision to amplify Africa's voice on the global stage and to champion the principles of multilateralism and the UN Charter.
The bid for this seat is not solely for Zimbabwe, but it is for Africa, the developing world, and all nations that deserve and desire peace. To date, we are humbled by the confidence and the trust bestowed on us by SADC and AU member states. We have unanimously supported and endorsed our candidature.
Zimbabwe has twice served on the council before, in 1983 to 1984 and again in 1991 to 1992. Analysts say Zimbabwe's growing support reflects shifting global dynamics.
You see, over time, developed countries which have mainly dominated the Security Council with the veto power have had their way. In developing countries, they've used the General Assembly, to make their concerns heard. So it's a very important platform that Zimbabwe made a point to register the impact of, the importance of multilateral approaches.
With momentum building, Harare's next steps will focus on converting pledges into votes when elections are held in 2026. For Zimbabwe, every handshake on the sidelines of the UN is another step closer to New York's most powerful chamber.
Now, to further analyze this latest development at the ongoing UN General Assembly, we cross over live to political analyst Gibson Nyikadzino, who is based in Uppsala University in Sweden. Good evening, Gibson. Thank you for making time for us here on News Plus. What can you say about Zimbabwe's timing of this bid, looking at the current political landscape?
We need to spell out that this bid is coming at a time just yesterday when President Trump, in his opening remarks, said the United Nations is empty words and empty words do not solve wars, but action does. So this bid, fortunately, it is coming when a founding member of the United Nations, who is also a permanent member of the Security Council, is technically calling for a reform of that institution. So this bid, it is important because what it is going to do is to use the platform of ensuring the sovereign right of people to determine their future, to ensure that women, the elderly, the youth are given more space to grow and develop in a secure and stable environment. So this bid, the timing is nothing but better because Zimbabwe is going to use it to to further the aspirations of the global south.
Now, Gibson, looking at history and all the other African countries that have had a stint in the UN Security Council, what kind of leverage will Zimbabwe have in terms of helping shape global political dynamics?
Yes, when we look at what Zimbabwe can leverage on to shape global politics, you understand that for a long time Zimbabwe has been in this ecosystem of the United Nations as a peacekeeping force on certain missions, and also you can realize that Zimbabweans, they've been exceptional. I think we've got one of our compatriots who was congratulated by Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who is also a member of the Zimbabwe military. So when you look at these dynamics, adding that Zimbabwe is also coming from one of the most stable regions in Africa, that's Southern Africa, and bearing in mind that this peace, stability, and security that's being enjoyed in Southern Africa, Zimbabwe is in particular contributed along with efforts of other countries to ensure this environment. So the biggest leverage is that Zimbabwe has shared the experience at a global stage.